to the wonderful world of dodgy movies and TV. I'm your host, Movie and TV Mistress. Thankfully I survived the stuff last week, and after getting that all out of my system, I'm back for another review. This week, it's Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
It was a night like any other night. Then something happened.
You see that?
Something different.
It's no shooting star.
Why here? Why now? Why clowns? They've been knocking him dead all over the universe.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Soon they'll be doing it at a theater near you.
Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Pizza? Maybe they're just cruising through the galaxy and stopped here for a bite to eat.
You don't need a police pal, you need a psychiatrist. They want to play games? They're messing with the wrong guy.
What are you in for?
Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's crazy.
So you're going to ask me what the plot is of this film. The title gives you the plot right there. It's about killer clowns from outer space. That's all you really need to know. It's from 1988. It's directed by the Cheeto brothers. And the music was composed by the same composer as The Wizard of Speed and Time. Though I have to say, I prefer this music, and it really just puts me in a good mood. And it looked like so much fun to go around Halloween Horror Nights last year at Universal in Orlando, even though I didn't get to go. But they were doing Killer Klowns from Outer Space last year, so that looked like fun, and all this music was playing. The composer of music on this film is John Massari. He also composed another film that I've reviewed in the past called The Wizard of Speed and Time, though I have to say this music was a lot more fun to listen to. So as I've said, the plot is the title. It follows the same plot of a very famous 50s B-movie that was also remade in 1988 called The Blob. We start off with a couple. Now, I'm not sure, because it's been a long time since I've seen the original Blob, whether or not they start on Lover's Lane, or as they call it in Killer Klowns from Outer Space, top of the world. But basically it starts with a couple who come across, after seeing a shooting star, a blob. Well, in this case, it's a giant tent, a circus tent. Now, before they get to the circus tent, we meet this old guy, played by Royal Dano. Royal Dano plays the exact same character, and I swear that's the exact same dog, in a film called Space Invaders, which came out a couple of years later. Similar storyline in that one too. Anyway, we slowly get introduced to the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, and they are horrific, disturbing, and absolutely hilarious. Their weapons of choice are candy floss, popcorn guns, and shadow puppets. So what's to be terrified by clowns? If anyone, like myself, grew up in the 80s, we were all terrified by clowns. If it wasn't Ronald McDonald, Pennywise the Clown, it was these guys. Clowns are terrifying, not just because of the pop culture, but also because of the history of clowns when you consider some of the serial killers out there that have dressed up as clowns. If you put a clown in front of any kid, it's going to cry and it's going to run away. They are nightmare-inducing things. Even Krusty the Clown is slightly terrifying, as is Sideshow Bob, Sideshow Mel, and just Frasier in general. Now, I watched this as a small child. Probably shouldn't, but I did. And it terrified me. It's hard to explain. I'm not afraid of clowns, but it did disturb me quite a bit as a child, and I probably shouldn't have seen it. But it also made me laugh. The clowns are funny. They are scary at the same time. They are disturbing, and then you've got these great special effects. And then the Cheeto brothers even get involved in making a giant Godzilla clown. Yes, Clownzilla.
What the hell is that?
I don't want to play here anymore. Can we go home now?
Just get out of here, come on. Everyone out of the truck, come on!
We can't, it's rented.
It's a giant killer clown from outer space. And how do you destroy killer clowns from outer space? Why, their big red nose, of course. Who knew that if you shot a red nose on a clown, they would disappear into a green ball of light? So what do the clowns want from us Earthlings? They want us as food. They put us in giant candy floss tubes and then drink our blood. Classic evil alien thing. Nothing unusual. This film just plays with every sci-fi 50s trope that you could think of and just goes, we'll make it clowny. So people are stupid and standing at a bus stop watch a clown who has 4 fingers, by the way, not 5, no, 4 big chunky fingers, making amazing, completely implausible shadow puppets on a wall that turns into a dinosaur and eats them. Oh, and the popcorn's alive. That's fun. If you weren't afraid of popcorn, you might be after this. The special effects for a $2 million budget film from 1988 that was, and is still technically low budget, they made the special effects themselves most of the time. They did a brilliant job. They wrote the script. It's actually, in my opinion, funnier, than Killer Tomatoes. Not the return, because I find that very funny, but the original Killer Tomatoes movie. So we have a couple who are at Lover's Lane, and they're the main couple that we have to focus on. But just to make it a bit awkward, the girl has an ex-boyfriend who happens to be a cop. A by-the-book cop who hates his partner who works in the police station, who's played by John Vernon. John Vernon, I have never seen him play anything but the characters he plays. They're all pretty much versions of the same character. I swear if he could, he would have had a double secret detention for the prisoners in this film, because it's the same sort of anger and annoyance at teenagers that he had in Animal House. And what amazes me is that he's actually in this film, and that he allows himself to be made into a dummy.
Hey, Jane. Who was the lady I saw you with last night? Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
It's actually a very disturbing scene when you think about the fact that they've made him into a dummy, literally, and the clown takes its hand out of his bloody corpse. John Vernon, I applaud you. You can act with clowns. You can act with John Belushi, who was a clown. He plays it straight, and he gets frustrated and more frustrated, and he's just perfect foil for anything ridiculous going on. He just never got the same sort of cred as like Leslie Nielsen did, who went from serious actor to comedic genius because he played it straight. John Vernon could have been up there, in my opinion, and probably is to some people, but he's just one of those guys that you always see playing the same sort of character. There are also, I don't know what it was in the late 80s, but this is the second movie. It goes Once Bitten, Two Idiots who are friends with Jim Carrey. You've got Two Idiots with John Cusack, and Two Idiots with the main boyfriend in this film. And in all of them, they all survive. It's a weird thing, but you have to have two idiots who just miraculously survive the most ridiculous explosions or deaths that could possibly be bestowed on them, and how somehow come out, nah, it's fine. These two guys are comedians who apparently...
Killer Klowns!
Okay.
It sounds.
Alright, that's my cue to end this review. So, check out Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Again, thank you Arrow for releasing this on Blu-ray with all the brilliant extra features that I love. Seriously, my collection of Blu-rays and DVDs are going up just because Arrow are releasing some great classics. Yes, I know I review dodgy films, and technically this is a dodgy film, as was the stuff, but they're also cult classics, and people deserve to see the craziness that is Killer Klowns from Outer Space. I will tell you, it does go a bit slow at certain points, but stick with it. It's hilarious. As I said, special effects, script, everything is brilliant. So check it out. Love these guys. No longer terrified of them as I was as a child. I think they're hilarious, especially when the small one does this.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off.
Who knew you could knock some guy's block off? So, next week I will be back with the most anticipated review since I started, Howard the Duck. So next week please tune in, and I will be reviewing a childhood favourite of mine that is also dodgy, because I seem to like dodgy films, Howard the Duck. And remember, hit that subscribe button, comment down below on Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, I'm on all of them, and on YouTube of course, and hit that notification bell over there. It lets you know that I've uploaded, and I will see you all again next week for another review. And remember what I always say, there's a lot of dodgy films out there, and some of them are fun. Bye!
Do you think it's over?
Yeah, sure.